Evan, you should probably wear a better shirt and at least shower and comb your hair before you do a video. You're probably right. You're probably right. But when inspiration strikes, you just go for it. So I'm talking now. Never mind the lack of glamour. I want to talk about something so important because it's personal. And it's personal because it's about me. But it's also about everybody. This is not going to resonate with a lot of people. I might piss off a lot of people by what I'm talking about. But sorry if I do. I want to talk about the fact that we are 100% spiritual, energetic beings. And we forget that a lot. We are stuck in this world of how do my shoes look? How good is my hair looking? How does my outside body present itself? And we forget to take care of that inside person as well, the spiritual aspect. And now, whether you think that I say spiritual or energetic beings as a soul that comes in from God and we learn lessons and we just here to, I agree with that 100%. But also on the energetic level of how our body is physically manifested of atoms and electrons and protons, which is electricity communicating with each other, electrical beings, physically and spiritually. We are electrical beings. That's a fact. There's no dismissing that. So the reason I want to come on and talk about something is the fact that what I think a lot of people do, my clients included, me especially, which is why it's personal, is we forget to listen to that voice in our head or that feeling in our stomach that is there to guide us and direct us in life, to say, get out, don't go in, figure out what you're doing, reassess what's going on in life. And we ignore that for the feeling of being wanted physically or like just a superficial feeling, whether that be feeling wanted of being with somebody that you shouldn't be with, or getting the nicest jacket so your friends talk about and praise how good you look while that person on the inside is crumbling more and more and more. Spiritual beings. How I got into this line of work is not from muscle testing. It's not from taking supplements and feeling better. That came later. It was energetic work. It was spiritual work. It was knowing how to breathe in, feel what I'm feeling, where the energy in the body is trapped and not moving, and how to let it go. And when you do that, you have to process things yourself. It's a lot of the lines of when people, that story when someone's stranded on the island and the ship came by and everyone came by to help. And he said, no, I'm praying for God's going to give me the answer. And then God's like, I sent you everyone for help and you didn't listen. That's kind of what it's like when we ignore that voice in our head. The intuition is really what it's called. Energetically speaking, we're attached to a lot of other energetic things out there. So we need to quiet the mind and quiet the stomach. When you go somewhere and you feel that uneasy feeling, don't ignore that. When that little voice in the back of your head is telling you something's not right, you've got to listen to that. Energetically and emotionally, when we ignore that voice inside of our head or that feeling in our stomach, we go off track. When you go off track, life is not the way it should be. Life is going to be full of struggles. It always is. Can't pay my tax bill. Can't do this. I got this coming up. That doesn't mean you have to struggle through it. There's obstacles. But when you ignore that voice spiritually, it's a struggle. And that's where I think a lot of people go wrong. I know so many people, clients that will come in full of pain. How are you doing today? Not good, depressed. My heart palpitations are back. My thyroid is off the wall. And yet when they come in another time and something emotionally changed, which then shifts the energetic side of things, they feel better right on the spot. Oh, amazing, that's gone. I feel better. So again, I'm not saying it's all energetic, it's all spiritual. I'm not saying that because our body's physically made up of vitamins, minerals, and amino acids, essential fatty acids, right? Hydrogen, carbon, all these things. We're made of elements and minerals. So you can't neglect magnesium or you will die. You can't neglect taking salt in water. You will die. These things are a fact. And even if people say, I'm not taking salt, you're wrong, and you are. There's no way you aren't. Otherwise, 2-3 weeks, for a month, you wouldn't be here anymore. So you can't neglect nutrition. But stop neglecting the spiritual stuff, that voice. And really, I'm looking at the camera talking to myself because I'm talking to myself. I used to get emotional work done all the time when Terry was alive, and it really helped me stay in tune with that voice. And since he passed away, I really haven't. And what I do for work is very energetic, and I'm dealing with other people's stuff all the time too. And I was ignoring that voice in my head. And it just got built up to the point where I had to do something. Something was wrong, something was physically going to happen. I could just feel it. And how I got into this work originally with the emotional stuff was because my girlfriend Jolene died in an car accident suddenly. And it sent me through this whirlwind, and then it was through the energetic and the spiritual work that got me through it like that. It was incredible. So I reached out to the person who was really facilitating that at the time for me. I'm not going to mention his name, even though he knows who he is. And it just really, well, first of all, it messed me up because it's a very traumatic, emotional thing that you got to take credibility for your own actions and what's going on and deal with it. But it just really brought that voice back to the light. And that is the other little tidbit of information I want to talk about. When you talk about people who are doing things that they shouldn't be doing, or they feel like they're off, and you bring it up their attention, sometimes when they're spiritually or very intuitively bound, they'll say, well, there's a lesson here for me. And that's true. Life is full of lessons. And if you fail a grade, you repeat the grade. If you fail a grade, you repeat the grade. So life is full of lessons. I understand that. But when we listen to the voice in our head, at what point in time do we realize I've learned the lesson and now I'm just hanging on and hurting myself? That's what I think we have to be aware of. Because a lot of the times people stick around in situations. I don't mean relationship. When I'm talking, I don't mean a relationship wise. It might be for people. It can be school. It can be parents. It can be like a whole bunch of things. At what point in time do you not hurt yourself by sticking around in bad negative energy and letting go? You know what? Let's be vulnerable as possible. Like my father's a great example. I'll always have a love for him. I don't like the guy at all. I think he's got a lot of work to do as well too, and he barks and takes on everybody else and doesn't take credible for his own actions whatsoever. I had to cut the ties with him because every time I would reach out, the little kid literally saying, "Dad, do you love me?" It was just bickered with something else, or a blame, or a point the finger. And that's tough. That's really tough. So to stick in a situation like that, do you stay there, or do you realize, you know what, I've learned the lesson here. It's not about me anymore. I'm taking off. All the best to you. There's situations in life that we have to do that, but sometimes, like I said, we get too stuck on the physical stuff of, well, no, that's my father. You do what you've got to do to be in the relationship with your father. Yeah. Try. Learn your lesson, you fail, you go again. Learn your lesson, fail. Eventually you wake up and go, you know what? I've done what I need to do. Now it's time for me to get back up and say, this is not for me anymore. My purpose is over here. My energy is not going to be spent with something negative over here. So I guess the summary of my video that I really want to talk about is how it's time to realize and remember that there is a guidance inside of us. Call it what you want to call it, but it's there. And if we take the time to shut out the world around us and listen, what resonates with you, you'll know it's the right thing. You'll know, and then it'll help you so much in life. Just listen. Like even when it comes to spirituality of things, like so many times I know people say they just open up their Bible in the morning, just sit and listen with God, and they let God pretty much speak to them. And life is so much better. If it's sitting with your Bible, listening to God, that's great. If it's how you turn on your radio and then a certain song comes on and makes you feel a certain way where you just know in your being that's right. Don't ignore things like that. Listen to things like that. It's a long video. And like I said, I am talking about guidance, listening to the voice in your head. I know a lot of people are going to think, okay, Evan's off his rocker, but really, nope. I'm on it and I'm doing good. I just wanted to share that because it's very important. So take it for what you will or not. Either way, have a great day, and I hope that you hear that little guidance talking to you.